Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War stream. So today, unfortunately, no new content. However, that means we can do whatever. So with that, we are going to be going and getting Doomsayer to level 100. Of course, now that no more new hero classes are being added to the game, which is probably one of the reasons we don't even have an event this weekend, since we're not getting any more, since we have one per kingdom now, it's going to be a lot easier to start getting these to 100, because no longer will we be having a new hero class coming in every single month. That'll basically be bogging down our EXP and requiring us to go and spend hours upon hours more trying to level up something that we're never going to use again. However, we still have several we still need to go level up that we're never going to use again. The one we're currently working on is Doomsayer, which is a really useless hero class that has like Death Mark spam, but doesn't really gain any benefit from being 100. Not to mention it's pretty inconsistent and pretty useless as a hero class. However, like many, I do need to go get to 100. So we currently have 7 left. By the end of this stream, our goal is to only have 6 left. Dabless, I will naturally get up through pet battles. So we're going to have 0 for that soon. And, or, you know, we'll have that max pretty much automatically, is what I mean by that. And then we basically only have 5 left. So we essentially only have 5 left after today, because this will passively get up automatically via pet battles. Because all pet battles for now on, I think I'm just going to be using this until it's 100. And then even then, I might just switch to Stun Spear just to keep them optimal. And Doomsayer will have by the end of today. So yeah, pretty much only 5 more left, theoretically, by the end of this stream. And that will be Barbarian, Dervish, Oracle, and all of them are 80 plus, Slayer, and lastly War Priest. And theoretically Dabless, however, it will passively be up by the time we get those other 5 up. So yeah, we're pretty much good to go. Anyways, Doomsayer is our goal for today. Definitely need to get that to 100. As far as our offers right now, I do have a writ offer. I wish it was 25% off, but I don't know. Do I go for it? 150 writs, 200 gems? We're so close to getting that purple that I kind of want to. This is how close we are currently to getting Darkstone to max level. We are only 7 away, and we'll be like 6 or 5 away once we get those writs, if we get those writs, which is why I'm considering getting those writs, because if we get a +1 magic bonus before next Guild War, that'd be pretty nice. Guild War is in, what, 2 weeks from now, right? Because we have a Doom this week, so yeah, not next week, but the following week. So in like 9 days from now, we'll have a Guild War event, and I would definitely want to have that magic by then. And those writs should be able to help us to make sure we do, because even if we don't get any purple tasks from here until then... Oh, we even got some writs off the thingy today. Though it's really small, and you can see like 10. But even if we don't get any purples off of here, I believe just the default amount between now and then will be enough to have the +1 magic. Probably a little bit beforehand. Anyways, so where should we start? Also, hello everyone. Hope all of you have been doing well. Hello Drock Savage. Hello Curtis. Hello Ricardo. Hello Gamer. Or Game Zucker. Hello Knockwolf. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, I think we'll start off in PvP for them. Hopefully we have a good rotation for PvP right now. So let me switch to armor, which we're already at. Never mind. We do have any pets going right now? No, we did not. Though apparently we had a Tangle one recently, because what should be there is the what's it called? Let me actually go reload that. I don't think we've seen it all week because I keep getting a thingy there. Also, I just realized, why is that over top? How long has that been there? Hold up. Oh no, never mind. That was just there because I closed out the game. Never mind. I keep forgetting that my thingy's behind it. And I always like think that whenever I close it out, it's like, wait, has that been there the whole time? No. I have the switch thing behind the behind my normal game, and obviously since my TV is off and I do not have my switch on, it just says no signal. But anyways, what was I doing? I was gonna see pets, but yeah, we got tomorrow the pet on my shoulder. A lot of people might not have this yet. 14 hours, 18 minutes. It's the only thing we really have going on this weekend. If you don't already have it, you'll be able to get copies of it, or you'll be able to obtain it. And if you already own it, you'll be able to get more copies of it. So yeah, that's the thing that we have on our shoulder right now. Just came out for 2018 Independence Day, which was last year around July 4th or so. And we're getting it again today, or tomorrow, I mean. So if you don't already have it, you'll be able to get it. And otherwise, more copies. Anyways, let's go ahead to PvP. And go and roll over these. Hopefully getting some easy battles here. Ideally, we want to be aiming for under 5,000. So we can kind of take a little bit over 5,000, depending on what the team is. We can kind of judge it based on whatever the first troop is. But anyways, start accumulating all that XP. And hello, Never Fate. Welcome, welcome. And if anyone has any questions, anything you want me to go over, any things, let me know. Of course, we'll have a redeem code or two to stream. Probably do it at 1. We'll probably do it at level 99, I think. At level 99 Doomsayer, we'll probably hand out code. And then get that final level on it. As the main goal of this stream pretty much is grinding at Doomsayer. Just kind of messing around with some stuff here and there. Because we already finished out Tower of Doom. We don't have any new content to go over, so we'll make our own and go get Doomsayer up. I can't wait till we finally have all the hero classes maxed. Really want to focus on it over the next month. So the whole entire month of June. Want to just grind it out, get it over with, and finally have it done so we never need to deal with them again. Having to do hero class farming. And that way we can use the optimal hero class for every team, rather than having to use things that are specifically for the XP gains. Because there's like a whole like demographic of teams that are pretty much teams that specifically work with it. Can I talk about the 5.0 patch? Nope, I am not allowed to talk about it. Also, I haven't even got into it yet, so... Even if I wanted to talk about it, I can't talk about it. But I'm also not allowed to talk about it, even if I did know info on it. Though I will soon. Very soon, TM. But I won't be able to talk about it, though. That was almost a good thing that I haven't went into it yet. Because I can't even accidentally disclose anything about it. It's like one of the only good things about not playing the beta yet. I can't even accidentally give info on 5.0. Because I haven't seen it yet. Is anyone in the beta? Is it actually like 100% out already? I thought they were just recruiting people for it. I didn't realize it was like out. If it is, I'll need to look at it this weekend. Though I can't do it on stream, unfortunately. That'd be a lot of fun to do, but unfortunately I'm not allowed to. Let's see. We'll go for that. Especially since we have a tamer weekend this weekend. As far as Gems of War content. What do we even need here? Grab the hey, I wanted those greens. What are you doing, greens? Stop disappearing on me. But we're probably going to be doing most of the grind in PvP. It's theoretically slightly quicker. As much as I hate doing it in PvP compared to Explore, it is technically quicker class XP per hour. Not Hero XP, which is that one, but class XP, which is that one. Mostly because it gives 2 per battle rather than 1. It wins at almost the same speed. Even if you factor in for repick times, it's still about 50% quicker or so. There's no official dates, but based on when they normally release patches, the patch is likely to be late June, early July. However, no official date has been given. But definitely sometime later than mid-June. Like mid-June would be the absolute earliest, so it's likely later June or early July. But no official date yet. I'll take that. How's it been going? Pretty well. Still been feeling kind of meh lately, though. It's either because of the weather, or the seasonal allergies, or what. I'm not sure. That or being cooped up in the house so much. I haven't even been taking, like, walks or anything. Probably should at least do that. Because aside from the excessively occasional food shopping, which I'm only like barely out for anyways, haven't really been getting much sun lately. Let's see. I'll take that. Yeah, the allergies have been really annoying for me the last few weeks. Particularly that 1 week. But I've still been feeling it the entire time. Even though I don't have like the cough and everything. But yeah, the other week it was really bad for me. Well, luckily we're getting a lot of really easy battles this time around. So normally the biggest thing I hate about doing this is the amount of really annoying battles we'll have to keep repicking through. But today's actually being pretty nice. It was being pretty nice yesterday, too. It's rather random if it's actually going to be like that, but on a given day. But luckily it is. It's dependent on a lot of factors, one of which is actually your defend team. And there are a couple ways that you could actually manipulate it based on your defend team. So maybe the defend team we have right now is just a little bit more optimal for it. But I don't think it is. I'm not even sure what our defend team is right now. Let's see. No, that's pretty standard. I don't think that would really be helping us much. Oops, don't do casual. I mean, don't do ranked. Do casual. Don't want to waste those gems. Definitely don't want to waste those gems. Well, that should be weak enough to take. We'll find out in a moment. Should be, though. I don't see why it wouldn't. Can I comment on the forthcoming Mythic? Sure. One of them got moved. I believe the other one got adjusted slightly. The one that's for next month likely will be as is, though. I'm not sure about the other one because they moved it and I think they reworked it slightly. Not sure exactly what's up with that other one. But we'll go over it once we get another level. We'll do it then. See what the next two mythics are, I guess. One of them we already went over. The other one I didn't. Why are we streaming so early today? We always stream Friday mornings. Oh, we already gained a level. But we always stream Gems of War every Friday morning or afternoon. Around that time. But we also do a stream every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But every Friday morning, we also do a morning stream for Gems of War. But let's go find those two troops real quick. Let's see. Let's go to Terran's World. Did I spell that incorrectly? Nope, I got it right. Troop spoilers. Okay, so next month's Mythic. Actually, we're getting a lot of stuff right at the beginning of next month. We're getting a this legend, which will be in the drop table, in the event key drop table. This will be the first week of next month. It's kind of like a Corvash. It's a Basilisk, legendary for Mrs. Scales, Monster Beast. And basically, it gets to one-shot things with true damage, while having a lot of stun off of its stun a random enemy when matching brown gems. And this is going to be pretty decent, because it'll have, it's basically going to be an alternative Corvash that has who has stun spam, while instead of doing a double hit that has mana drain, it does a single shot that will kill. So interesting dynamic that it has. It's basically an alternative Corvash that's for different situations you would use depending on if it's better. It is almost exclusively going to be a Guild War option. I don't really foresee this being used in PvP because it's going to be too slow. And I don't really foresee this being used anywhere else because it's going to be too slow. However, it's actually going to be decent for Guild Wars, as it's going to be good at not losing Guild Wars due to its combination of one-shotting capability and having a pretty consistent stun, especially one that doesn't necessarily require a Mythic. Of course, on Brown Day, you could just go and get it away with the Mythic of wow, why do I forget his name? The one that 4 times stuns. Seriously, why do I forget his name all of a sudden? Wow, why do I forget his name? The 4 times stun one. The Gorgotha, or the Infernus Trip that's 4 times stun. Seriously, why can I not remember his name? You know who I'm talking about. I need to go double check that now. That will bother me that I forget it. But you could do that. But on Blue Day, your best option is normally yes, Obsidious. Yeah, Obsidious is his name. But on Brown Day, you can normally just do Obsidious. However, on Blue Day, your best normal alternative is Corvash. And this is going to be a replacement in many situations to that Corvash. Many he'll be weaker than it because double stun's still pretty powerful. However, getting a one-shot instead of a double stun in many getting a instant kill rather than a double mana drain is going to be pretty convenient in many situations. Especially how useful it is just to completely clear out a single enemy like that. So it'll be interesting to see how it works. And the main reason I say it'll be one-shot is he gets to double if they're poisoned. However, you generally won't be triggering this. However, the main thing that he gets to do is he gets to double if they're stunned. So you're basically going to get 3 times damage. Your normal 1 times value on the very first hit, and then a 2 times value on the second hit. Also, assuming it goes in that order, you'll also be able to hit through barrier by using your first hit for hitting on their barrier. The one that would have the poison multiplier, which wouldn't matter because you likely wouldn't have poison. And the second one, which would actually do 2 times damage, would not have to deal with barrier. So assuming it interacts that way, which it likely will, you might not even necessarily need to worry about barrier on them. And even if they do, you'll still do a really substantial amount of damage, if not one shot, with that ability. So overall, it should be pretty interesting to see how this pans out. Also, theoretically, it has higher score reduction than Corvash. Corvash used to have 50%, but it was nerfed to 25%. However, this has 30%, and while 5% is a pretty small amount, there could be the difference between dying and not dying. So theoretically, it's higher. But yeah, pretty much alternative Corvash. Really cool troop. Anyways, that's not the main thing we came here to see. The 2 mythics. So, next mythic, where are you? You should be at Friday of the weekend thingy there. Also, we're getting a new faction that Friday as well. There's a new mythic. So we're getting 5 new troops. We're getting the 4 like dragon things from Bladed Lands that we were mentioning earlier. However, this is the main one I want to go over. So this one I don't even think I went over yet because it ended up getting switched with one of the other ones. I'm not sure why they moved the other one back, but they moved one of the other ones back a little bit. So this is the next mythic. I don't think I actually have gone over this guy yet. So this is the Psychorax. It is a mythic from Blackhawk. It's an elemental mystic. Gosh, another elemental. There's so many good elementals in the game now. But as far as what this thing ends up doing, it has a double chosen color gem on the board. So this is kind of like the trolls, except it actually gets to select it. Kind of surprised it doesn't have a giant thing in it. Almost looks like a giant. And then creates 3 more of that color. Yeah, exactly the same as the trolls. Interesting. Surprised it's not a giant. And then gives magic +1 life to all allies of that color. Interesting. So that's a pretty high mana cost for what it does. That's actually a really, really high mana cost for what that does. What's this unique thing, though? He has a troll regeneration. So yeah, it is a troll. It's basically a troll that gets to choose any color. He has Impervious. Ooh. That's one of the best stats effects in the game. And has Troll Bloods. All elemental allies gain 1 attack and armor at the start of every turn. Huh. That doesn't seem too good. Compared to just using the normal trolls that could do the same thing, why would you really touch this thing? Because most things can do its ability for 12 mana, and while they can only select 1 color and not choose what color, that's more than a double mana cost increase for doing the exact same thing. However, it does give the versatility, so you could basically just do it on brown, green, or blue, whichever one is super populated at a given time, then feed right back to full and leak into your other troops. But I don't feel like its traits are good enough for it. If it had a trait that triggered on extra turn, like give all elementals even just like 1 magic every extra turn or something, I don't know. But anything elemental based or anything there that triggered on an extra turn, I feel like it would have been decent. The fact that its thing only triggers when you when you lose your turn doesn't make any sense, since the whole purpose of this troop would be to never lose your turn. Yet its final trait is based on when you lose your turn. Impervious theoretically also is only really beneficial when you lose your turn. Actually, all 3 of his traits are only beneficial when you lose your turn. Yet he has an ability that's focused on not losing your turn, which is just a really weird combination to have. I feel like the final trait needs to change, otherwise this thing's just dead content. I don't really see any situation where you'd use it, especially since he has mana conflict with things like Forest Troll, given the brown-blue, even though it could feed back into it. But, which Forest Troll is the best of the 6 trolls that currently exist, the main 6. Mostly because it has 33% score reduction and the Entangle on Skull. Also doubling greens, which is a very beneficial color to double. And he does it for 12 rather than 25 mana. Yeah, I don't really foresee this thing being useful, unfortunately. I don't see a single circumstance where you'd really bother bringing this out. It also doesn't count as a giant, for whatever reason. I'm not sure why it doesn't count as an elemental giant or something. All the other ones do. Every troll in the game counts as elemental giant. But for whatever reason, this thing counts as an elemental mystic for no clue why. But yeah, it seems pretty lackluster, unfortunately. In every single way. Anyways, other than that, let's see. Where's the other Mythic? So this was the one that got moved back. Where'd it go? Did it get moved back so far that it's not even on here anymore? Nope, there it is. So this thing got moved back for whatever reason. This was supposed to be the next Mythic, but I'm not sure why exactly. But he did get moved. Oops, I just copy-paste the same one again. Fail. Did I not get the right copy? Apparently. Copy, 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 copy. Why are you no copy? Copy. Paste. Can you please work? Why is this thing being so finicky? There we go. Anyways. So Lord of Slaughter, he's going to be the Mythic Wild Plains one that's coming not next month, but the following month. So in like 6 weeks from now or so. He counts as a Warger construct. Also, I believe he's the first construct Mythic in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Though that's not really relevant because there's no 50% mana start for it. Neither of his two have a 50%. Wait, actually, did Wargears get 50%? I can't even remember now. Wait, did Wargears ever finally get it? Why do I feel like the answer is yes? It might not be. I can't remember. But I don't think it did. Why do I feel like I did? I think I'm thinking of what's it called? Or Skea. I don't think Wargears did. But anyways, it gets to create 6 brown, and then convert all browns to Doom Skulls, which in itself is already good. That's basically Sheggar for Doom Skulls, but for brown instead of red. Then it gets to inflict 1 to 2 bleeds, and 1 to 2 death marks on random enemies. So this is also going to be good, because you get to do damage over time to get rid of things like barrier and stuff. But you also get the random chance that you just instantly get a kill. However, that's not why he's good. The reason why he's good, and might become one of the most broken troops in the entire game, is his final trait of Savage Strike. He has a 100% chance to ignore armor with skull damage, and if any of you were around for the 2.0 patch, you know exactly why. Ancient times ago. That was like 4 years ago. But if any of you were here for the 2.0 patch, you know exactly why this is the most broken trait in the entire game. And it should be really nice to see this back. I'm actually glad this mechanic is coming back, because it was extremely fun to mess around with. However, it is very, very, very strong. But the game has finally power creeped enough that they can actually add it back into the game on a single Mythic. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. But basically what this does is his skull damage has a 100% chance that it'll hit on HP and never hit on armor. Assuming he's not stunned. He can be stunned, of course, and lose that capability. And it's quite a bit easier to stun these days than it was in the past. However, assuming he's not stunned, he will have a guaranteed chance to hit on HP. This basically means he's doing double damage to everything automatically, in the sense that, you know, you're just hitting directly on HP. It's a little bit different than Web Spinner. Web Spinner, of course, is the direct 3 times. However, you could armor buff and kind of protect yourself from it a little bit. Whereas, also you could just have immunity to it. Whereas, nothing will have immunity to this. It'll just be hitting HP every single time. Actually, almost kind of reminds me of Crimson Bat's 2 times damage, in the sense that it basically is 2 times damage on every single hit. But the only difference is there is no counter to it, other than if you stun it. But a lot less counters than quite a few of the other ones have, because the other one depends on you having damage, which you could always heal back up with a life gain. And the other one, like Web Spinner, requires you to be poisoned or webbed, which of course you could have immunities to them with Impervious, which negate out that out. However, this one, there is no specific effect a thing could have, other than stunning you, that would protect them from this. Not even like a Bless or anything would help against it. So it'll be interesting, or I don't think it does. We actually don't know for sure. I can't actually remember. I believe it would still hit through. I'm like 90% certain it would still hit through Bless. But, yeah, you basically just pair a lot of Skull Spam with this, which he has on top of himself, which is pretty nice. On top of that, he also gets to summon a Doomstorm at the start of battle, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the first troop in the game to have this capability. There's already hero classes that do it. However, I believe this is the first troop that specifically has it attached. So this thing's going to have a lot of Doomskull potential, a lot of Skull Spam, and it gets to convert away Brown, which is a really good hard counter for Brown teams, since Brown is one of the more popular colors in the game due to things like Mountain Crusher, due to all the things that gain barrier on Brown, stuff like that. So it'll be a nice hard counter to those kind of things. And on top of all that, he has skull reduction. So if it wasn't already perfect for him to have the other 2 things, he also has some skull reduction. Unfortunately, only 25%, but the fact that he has any is actually really, really good, given that obviously any build that is using him is already going to be skull heavy. and being able to keep him alive a little bit better is very nice. But yeah, this thing is going to be insanely strong. I wonder if one of the reasons they moved it back was because they're planning on nerfing him. Hopefully not. But yeah, this thing's going to be a lot of fun to mess with. Too bad it's not the next one. It was supposed to be the next one, but then was moved. But we'll see what happens with him. As it currently stands, be interesting to see how he pans out. And he's definitely going to be a lot of fun to use, assuming he doesn't get changed. Though I feel like he's going to get nerfed before he even gets released, which is unfortunate. But yeah, he will instantly become like top 5 Mythic the second he comes out. It creates a whole new type of skull spam team. It's really similar to that of Web Spinner and other similar teams like that. But it's different enough to kind of be its own thing. Just because there's quite literally nothing that really negates it, not counting stun. But of course you can just put a cleanser on your team. I'm not sure what cleanser would actually be best for him though, given his coloration. Because it was what? It was green, red, what was the other color? Green, red, blue. What would even be the cleanser for that? Because you can't use Orpheuses. You could use the Mythic of Orpheus, but you can't use Orpheuses themselves, because if he's stunned, he can't cleanse off stun from himself, because the stun stuns the Orpheuses. But yeah, Voice of Orpheus could work. Does anything have... Oh, Beatrix. Oh. That's gotta be broken. That creates green and brown. He uses brown for skull spam, and he uses green for mana accumulation. However, the Beatrix would have to be in front of it, so maybe it wouldn't be as broken. Because Beatrix is full blocked by his mana. Though Beatrix does still have everything it needs. Though it would be full blocked. Due to the coloration. But yeah, Beatrix has cleanse, Beatrix has browns. And Beatrix has green for mana accumulation. Though if you don't have enchant, that might be really clunky. Though you could use it with... Oh! You could use it with... what's her name? I love that mana generator. It's very rarely better than Leprechaun, but it would be in that team. You could use something like... Oh, I already know the team. I already know the exact team I'd want to use initially to mess with it. It would be that troop in first slots, followed by Tulio, followed by... Or sorry, Beatrix would be in front of it. Or actually, would Tulio be up front? Yeah, Tulio would probably be in second. So the order would be that Mythic, followed by Tulio, followed by Beatrix, followed by Leprechaun. And that's pure green as well if you want to use it for Green Guild War. That's probably the first team I'll mess around with it. That sounds like it has a lot of potential. We could test it right now and do it with Web Spinner, which would serve almost the exact same kind of premise of team. But yeah, if we go replace this with Green Wargear, we can go this. So Web Spinner will be the Mythic placeholder. Tulio. Beatrix. And Leprechaun. And it would change up our banner, which would likely be a minus brown of some sorts. Yeah, that would work. And actually, is there any way to give +2 yellow, +1 green? No, we'd have to minus his red. Actually, let me see. Is there anything under red that would do that? I want yellow-green. No, we'd have to minus blue, which is not a color I'd necessarily want to minus. So we'll stick with that banner, I guess. Okay, and we'll roll with that with it. And that would pretty much be the team. Class doesn't matter since we're not using one. And just fight us against this, I guess. Not the right team. Obviously test other teams with it once it comes out. First thing that comes to mind. Okay, so every extra turn will get us cleansed. Gotta get Tulio to get everything rolling. Which is why I wanted that extra yellow. Cast this on green every single time. This would then skull spam like crazy. It being stunned would be really bad, but that's why Beatrix is over there. So we can then get a cleanse and we'll be good to go. Please land extra turn. Come on, you need that cleanse. What are you doing? Okay, this might be a weird situation where we might die to Death Mark. Luckily we did not. So we'll get the cleanse there. Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to use him like that, though. We'd use him for his convert. But after the Beatrix, he'd likely have alignment anyways and get a bunch of skull spam and clear out the entire team. It's one thing that Web Spinner and many other things that have really good skull damage, like Crimson Bat, Web Spinner, stuff like that, they don't actually have skull spam attached to them. This new troop will be kind of interesting because the skull spam is attached to the troop. Like in a team normally like this, we would lack any form of skull spam. However, the new Mythic's going to have it attached to it, which will be pretty cool. See how that pans out. Which is very beneficial. Looks like we might actually lose. That's mostly because that's not the Mythic. It's set up to try to use the new Mythic, but obviously the new Mythic isn't there. But a Web Spinner is the closest equivalent we have right now to the same thing. Even though it's not necessarily even close to the same thing. But, you know, it's the same kind of premise without the skull spam and a few other features. It's the closest thing that exists right now to what it currently does. Let's see. We'll take that for now. But they're still very, very different. Actually, it would probably be better to hold and just get Tulio. I feel like we might need to have extra yellow. That's because how important Tulio will be for the startup of this team. Yeah, that yellow is extremely important to get things rolling. Because then we cast on green. Everything then has they're close to full mana. That thing's already dying, really. Let's see. Let's take that for now. Get our Beatrix. And then he converts all the browns to Doom Skulls, and boom, we're good to go. It feels weird creating brown on a team that doesn't use any brown. But with that Mythic, it would make sense. Because we get to deny it. Though in this case, we can't actually deny it because we don't have it yet. And we won't for like another 6 weeks or so. But yeah, it seems like it might work. Obviously, we would need the troop to be out and actually using it in a team to know for sure. But that's testing for a later time. Because we can't really test it properly without having the troop. It just won't exist for at least 6 weeks or so. There's my Ruin. There we go. But yeah, the whole reason for using Tulio is kind of to bypass the fact that we're blocking so much color. And it allows us to feed Beatrix even if she's fully blocked, which she will be for a while given that the Mythic has a 24 mana cost, which is even higher than Web Spinners. However, once we get the first alignment onto Brown to Doomskull, we pretty much auto-win. The second we get Brown to Doomskull alignment, we've won with that troop. Also, what synergizes pretty nicely too is even if he somehow does not get a one-shot, let's say because they have like 50% score reduction, or even let's say Gorgulf is 75% or something, it won't actually necessarily matter because Beatrix synergizes with it in the fact that it does true damage. So we'll have two different instances of 2 damage that will be able to break through, which should pretty much make us good to go at that point. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that pans out. Has pretty decent synergy. We can't see the fullness of it though, with only a Web Spinner. But now that I think about it, I believe it's the only troop in the game now that has default 2x damage on like pretty much everything in the game that has skull spam attached to it. I don't think there's any instance of it currently in the game. Because what's every instance of it right now? Not counting any of the boss troops because they don't affect everything. They only affect like, you know, a small amount of things. But, and same as the invasion troops. Even though they might affect everything in invasions, they don't affect anything outside of it. But as far as ones that could affect like nearly literally everything, Crimson Bat doesn't have it. It has 2x damage, but it doesn't have any way to skull spam. Web Spinner doesn't have it. It has insanely high damage, but it has no skull spam attached to it. Even though it can keep spamming and try for skulls, but that's not the same thing. What else? Those are like the only two, aren't, isn't it? Because most things don't have, I guess technically anything that has like an easy enrage. That's not exactly the same thing. Because it's only 1.5 times. But, yeah, I can't recall anything that does. It'll be the first thing to have both skull spam a Skull Storm even on top of that. And a 2x auto damage. Though in this one, it's not exactly 2x in the sense that it's hitting directly on HP. But given that the entire team only does true damage, it doesn't matter. Because every instance of damage will be true damage. Because the only 2 damages we'll have is Beatrix, which is true damage, and the Mythic, which everything on it is true damage. That'll be a lot of fun. It was supposed to be this next Mythic. I'm kind of disappointed it's not. Because that'd be a lot of fun to mess around with. But it's coming here eventually. It better not get nerfed before it gets released. I don't mind them nerfing it like a week after. But they definitely don't need to nerf it right when it launches. Because that's going to be so much fun to mess with again. It'll feel like version 2.0 patch all over again. Except only one troop will have that benefit rather than like a billion of them. Doomsayer 100 gives literally nothing. If I'm not mistaken, every single one of the 3 perks is completely pointless. The reason we're doing it is just to get it leveled. We're trying to get every hero class in the game maxed. But no, Doomsayer gains 3 completely useless traits. I think what it gains is like some kind of undead thing. I believe you get like a benefit of 2 HP and 2 magic to all undead per kill. That's the only thing you really get from it that would be useful. Even that's pretty minuscule. The last I recall, that's the only useful one of the 3 that it gets. And even that's pretty pitiful. I would double check. I'm pretty sure that's all it gets is a 2 HP and magic per kill. Or sorry, per kill to all undead. Yeah, that one. All undead give gain... Oh, sorry, it's armor and magic. But all undead gain 2 armor and 2 magic when an ally dies. Oh, sorry, it's ally too. I thought it was enemy. Oh, that's even more useless. Gosh, all of them are useless. All enemies lose 1 point to a random skill when I match skulls. That's pointless. Because not only does your hero class have to be your first slot, but it's also only 1 skill point. Even if that was 5 skill points, I'm not sure if that would be worth it. Given that it has a first slot restriction. And most hero classes that have it don't have like Stone Tree or anything. All Fate allies gain 2 life every turn. Which given this hero class, it'd be so situational that you even have Fate on your team. And then all undead gain 2 armor and magic when an ally dies. So all of them are pretty useless. But I need it leveled. For that reason, we still need to get it. Yeah, a lot of hero classes have some really bad final perks. I wish they would revamp some of them. Because there are some extremely horrifically bad level 100 perks on quite a few hero classes. Where all 3 options are abysmal. To a degree, that's almost good because it makes it so you don't feel obligated to get literally every hero class to 100. But it's also bad because once you finally start getting to the point where you need to get them to 100, feels like you're doing like nothing to help the hero class. Because in many situations, the benefits that they gain do near equivalent of nothing. Oh, so hello, what is that? Pantosaurus? Welcome. Oh, so hello, Brushka, if I didn't already say hi. Welcome, welcome. And Elite Gaming. Oh, so I missed a question, I think. Hello, Ryan. Should we assume we shouldn't be able to one-shot kill on the first 2 to 3 turns? Or 2-3 turns? Or is there an efficient way to apply stun early? Well, it depends how much mana accumulation you get. One of the easiest way to get it early, though it's not pure color, if you're doing it in a Guild War sense, is Gimlet. Gimlet converts green to brown on turn 1. And you can get some easy stuns that way. However, that's not Guild War applicable due to no color overlap between the 2 troops. Aside from that, you can normally mana generate or board clear and try to get it that way. Like Apothecary on blue would work pretty well for that. Use an Apothecary, you'll have Cleanse, you then have Brown Spam. She won't be able to 1-turn, but depending on how the board is, you can normally 2-turn her. You can only 1-turn her if you get really lucky, though. Because you have blue and brown to be able to use it on. And I feel like a stronger day might end up being blue. Because it's already normally going to be used as a Corvash alternative. Because on brown day you have Obsidious. And Obsidious, in most situations, is going to be a superior option if you're really looking for a stun. However, on blue day, your normal alternative is Corvash. And this thing has potential to be better than Corvash in certain situations. Not every situation. But it's basically a utility troop that you use similarly to Corvash. That in certain situations will be better than a Corvash. It's super situational though. Same as Corvash, you'll like almost never see me using it. But it's Guild War applicable occasionally, particularly Blue Guild War Day. That's where I feel like it will shine the best. If even at all. There's a possibility the legend might just be useless. But if it's going to have any purpose, it's going to be Blue Guild War Day. We'll need to incorporate it into next Blue Guild War. Actually, does it even come in time to do it for next Guild War? Yeah, I believe it does. Next Guild War is 2 weeks from now, and the event's 2 weeks from now. It's actually coming up. It's coming out literally on the week of Guild War. So yeah, we'll be able to use it for Blue Guild War to test it. That's good. I'll probably make mention of it on that Monday video then. That's 2 Mondays from now, though. It's not next Monday, but following Monday. What's my favorite card in the game? Oh, that's a hard pick. There's just so many factors you can base it based off of. Like, if we're talking about overall usefulness, I'd probably say Rowan these days. But, overall favorite... I don't know, Dragon Soul has been pretty high up there. Based on every possible factor. Emperor Reina used to also be one of my old-time favorites. Due to its its role in the lore of the game, as well as it actually being meta at one point. It is extremely bad in the current state of the game. It's one of the only few troops in the entire game that has a full heal to another troop. Actually, is this still the only one that does? Wait, I know there's multiple things that have a full heal. Is it still the only one that has a full heal target to an ally? That is automatically full heal 100% of the time? It might be. I know it's a very uncommon used mechanic. Mostly because it's very, very slow. And most situations in the game wouldn't really need it. Given that slow is bad in pretty much every game mode. Hello, Chad! Welcome. How am I doing? Pretty well. Trying to get that Doomsayer grind done. We're at 97. We'll hand out a code at 99. And our goal is to get at least 100. Well, not like we can go any higher than 100, but, you know, other hero classes can be level 2. Still got 6 more left. But theoretically 5, because we should be able to passively get Dablist off of pet battles. Speaking of pet battles, we've been doing this the entire time. We still haven't found a pet gnome. We are finding some amount of gnomes. Say an event key I don't need. Oh, should have went for that battle. Oh, that's even better. Though they both should have probably died in one shot. Well, apparently we're getting a bunch of gnomes all of a sudden. Though no pet gnomes, unfortunately. 5 gems, nice. I'll take this one. It's probably too high stats, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. Fortunately, that did not gain full mana due to no surge. I'll still kill it nonetheless, or not. Oh, I was hoping to try to get Doomskull alignment on it. Slightly disappointing we can't, but get our last little bit of manas and be good to go. And just kill it out with the Rowan. Oh, actually, I'll take the skull there. You're leveling Doomsayer to try to get the weapon. Or is that level 21? Oh yeah, if you do 1 battle each time, or 1 XP per battle, I believe you get it around 23 level on your hero class, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere around there. Assuming you're doing battles that give 1 XP per battle, like Explore. I forget where it falls if you're getting 2 XP per battle. I think it's like 30 something. But obviously you can track your wins via the other menu. Because it's not based on how much XP you get, it's based on how many wins you get. And regardless of if you get 1 or 2 XP for it, it still counts as 1. Towards the progress of getting the weapon. I'm surprised I actually one-shotted. Nice. I'll take it though. We grab there, get that for now. How are you getting such low-level PvP matches? You just get lucky sometimes. It has something to do with defend team. However, I normally just have a really random defend team. You can slightly manipulate it with defend team. Not sure exactly how that works. Pretty sure some people who've data mined the games knows a little bit better on that. But sometimes you just get luckier days than others, and today has been decently lucky, as well as yesterday. It definitely seems to change per day. Oh yeah, that's the other reason why we're getting such low enemy. There's actually a strategic reason to keep your... yeah, there's actually another reason. There's many factors that determines your enemy, and one of them is based on your current rank. It's actually one of the reasons why we're getting such low enemies. We are currently ranked down all the way at 666 at rank number 51,923. And as long as we just do casual PvP and not ranked, and you don't ever get to rank 1 on a given week, it actually increases your chance of finding weaker battles. This is particularly noteworthy towards the end of the week, while most people are already at 1.9k plus, as you can tell by us being like 50,000 something. If you keep it deliberately low, it does increase your chance of finding lower levels. That's actually probably why we're finding so many. It is one of the factors of multiple that determines the battles that you get here. And one of the ways to actually manipulate it to be lower is deliberately making sure you don't get rank 1 PvP, and ideally keeping that as low as possible, because it drastically increases your chance of finding low battles on casual. And doing infinite casual does not increase your ranked. We could do 1,000 casual battles and it will never increase our ranked score thing. Yet it still determines what we get matched with in casual. Yeah, it's probably the biggest contributor to what we're getting right now for weaker battles. No. Honestly, this late in the game, it's not that worth it. Obviously, you still get the keys and everything. It's worth doing by, like, the end of the week. However, if you're planning to do, like, any amount of grinding on casual PvP like we're doing, it's normally actually beneficial not to get it up, rather than getting it up, oddly enough. Some weeks I don't even bother with it. That's because the loot for it is pretty bad in endgame. You get 46 glory keys, which isn't bad. You get a couple hundred glory, which, again, isn't bad, but pretty small. And a few other scraps here and there. This is what you get for actually getting 1.9k. It's pretty lackluster in endgame. You get all this. So ingots I don't even need anymore. 46 glory keys. I think it's like 300 something glory. A trivial amount of souls and a trivial amount of gold. So between all the glory, I believe you get what's your gem value on that? I believe you get about 15 into that. You get about 60 gems worth of keys between all the glory. But that's pretty much it. Because the souls are trivial, the gold is trivial, and the ingots, once you reach super endgame like we were at, are also trivial. So the only thing we get is about 60 gems worth of keys, which for the time is actually pretty decent. Yeah, it's still pretty small, nonetheless. Because it takes under an hour to get 1.9k. Oops, I just take a normal ranked. Oops, I just wasted a gem, didn't I? Gotta make sure not to do that. Fail. The best delve to farm is currently City of Thieves at level 20 on a 1x multiplier. If you can do that, that's the quickest delve rate in the entire game for resources. But yeah, City of Thieves at level 20 on 1x multiplier. However, if you've done City of Thieves at any point higher than that, you won't be able to ever do it. on your account. Which is one of the reasons they need to update it. Because right now, anyone who has City of Thieves stuck at level 20 on 1x multiplier has a quicker rate than anyone else in the entire game for delve farming. Because nothing is quicker than City of Thieves at 1x multiplier level 20. Actually, it's so good that it's arguably better to do level 50 at 0.5 times if you have all your delves like pretty much upped. Because City of Thieves at 0.5 times is actually, at level 50, is actually better than some delves at level 20 on 1 times. That's how good City of Thieves is. Is that even with a higher difficulty and a lower amount of rewards, it still gives more rewards overall. Mostly because of how many treasure rooms it has, how close the treasure rooms are to the start of the floor, as well as the overall multiplier that's within it. Which makes up for the fact that it even have a lower one. But yeah, it's very overpowered for farming. I keep forgetting, we get that one random explosion at start of battle. It's the only hero class in the game that has it. It technically slows down the battle, however, if we ever get an instance where it gives us full mana, it does speed it up. However, it's one of those situations where it can get the quickest win in the entire game. However, it has a overall slower rate than hero classes that don't have the explosion. Whenever we get a starting board like that, that's when it goes the quickest. For the quickest possible win. Because we just get full mana automatically. It's basically like having a Pararoar on Rowan. Though very rarely do you get it. Since it is completely luck-based. Oh, please don't ruin the alignment. There we go, nice. And he's already dead. End your turn. There we go. Hello, Leaf. Welcome. Also, as I mentioned, we'll hand out code once we reach level 99, which we're actually reaching at a quicker pace than I thought we would. I know. We're attacking all the low-level players. Some of these are like literally people who just started. Level 18. It takes like 15 minutes from starting the game to reach 18. Actually, maybe closer to 30 minutes. Because tutorial is like really slow. But as far as your leveling is concerned. Well, it levels you very quickly, but it brings you through a lot of like slower battles and stuff. But yeah, that person was probably like under an hour played. This one's level 45, which you could reach easily within the first day of playing. If you're playing enough. But yeah, we keep fighting all the very low peoples. It gives their free loot. It's not like it takes anything from them. There used to be a mechanic where you'd like take any unclaimed gold, but that's been removed for a while now. And one of the reasons they actually removed it, other than just the frustration of it, is it was actually pretty overpowered for gold. Because if you could consistently find people who haven't been rated yet of gold, it gave absurd amount of gold rates. But you could get over 10,000 gold per battle. It was actually probably the most broken the gold was ever in the game, potentially. Even though right now pretty much has the highest gold rate that has ever existed in PvP and just in general. While the other method wasn't as consistent, it theoretically gave you a chance of getting a higher gold rate than what exists right now. Even though its consistency would be a bit lower. Is that even weak enough? It probably is. It's coin purses. Oh, you just started last week, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We stream every Friday morning, Gems of War, as well as every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 7 hours from now, every night. Oh, glad I could help. Yeah, we've been playing since launch, a little over 5.5 years ago. Is there any other way to get Phoenicia besides crafting her in Soulforge? Yes. If a event comes around for Suncrest, you can throw event keys at it. However, it is not guaranteed, and you would need a lot of event keys to try for it. But other than that, those are pretty much your only two methods. Is event keys when it's a Suncrest event, or Soulforge. But you're most likely bet being Soulforge, because that'll be a guaranteed chance once you have the diamonds. Whereas the other thing, even if it comes around, is only a % chance, and it's not guaranteed. But those are your only two methods. That's applicable to every Mythic that's already been released. Also, some of them are Soulforge only. For example, the 4 Apocalypse troops, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, while they're not relevant in the current state of the game, and they're some of the last Mythics you should ever get, they are actually technically only obtainable in Soulforge because they're not associated to any kingdom currently. Well, technically they are. It's to Apocalypse Kingdom, but Apocalypse Kingdom never has an event because it's not actually a kingdom. Well, gold rates in the game have still been high, even after the PvP gold nerf. Because you can still do pretty good rates on Explore. Some of the highest rates for Explore are around like 450,000 with double Cedric. And it's really consistent compared to other methods. Yeah, the PC mobile game, I would say overall, is probably the best version of the game. However, the Switch version is the newest. So if you don't want to feel as far behind compared to everyone else, the Switch version might be a little bit better. It's the furthest behind as far as updates and everything. But as far as the actual gameplay and like everyone in the game, it's only been out for a year. It came out in last year's April. So it's only been out for like a year and almost 2 months now. Actually, pretty much a year and a month because it came out late April. So yeah, it's only been out for about a year and a month. Whereas every other version of the game has been out for upwards of 5 years. So people in the Switch version won't seem as far ahead of you compared to if you play any other version. However, I still consider the PC mobile version to be the overall best game. The best version of the game, mostly because it has cross-platform with each other on PC mobile as far as cross-platform. And has the ability of playing it stationary while also on the go, which technically the Switch does too. The main thing I just hate about the Switch is it's just so far behind on updates. Though, if you're only playing the Switch version, you probably won't really notice that as much. Let's see, we'll take that for now. Hello, Vespeni, welcome. But yeah, speaking about Switch, I'm curious to see how that upcoming game ends up panning out. That one, 51 Worldwide Classic game. Hopefully multiplayer scene on it's pretty solid. I feel like it will be. We don't really know until it launches and everything. What hero weapon, wait, what hero weapon? And is this the fastest PvP team nowadays? Hero weapon is the 250 win from Dervish hero class. However, you can use literally anything in the game. Like Black Manacle or pretty much anything that doesn't block Rowan. I just happen to always use Dancing Daggers because why not? But as long as it doesn't block Rowan, and ideally not Leprechaun, but it's more important you don't block Rowan. You use pretty much anything there. Ideally a full AoE kind of weapon. Or some kind of split damage, high split damage weapon. But aside from that, what was the other thing I was mentioning? Is this one the quickest PvPs? If you're doing quick kill, yes. If you're doing anything that it won't one-shot, no. As far as one-shots are concerned, Rowan is pretty much the one-shot queen in this game. She is the quickest, most consistent one-shots, with Phoenicia being the next best for the things that are slightly above her level range, or, you know, the kill range. They have both of them in combination can kill very well one-shots as far as the range that they have. Rowan kills out the really low end, and Phoenicia kills out the mid-range end. Anything beyond that point, though, you stop being able to one-shot, because nothing else in the game has high enough damage. Am I using Dragon Guard? I'm currently using Doomsayer, because we're trying to level Doomsayer. As the title says, we're trying to get to 100. We'll have a code at 99, and main goal is streams to get to 100. But unfortunately, no new content this weekend. Other than the little birdie that's coming out tomorrow. The bald eagle. America! It was the Independence Day pet for 2018. I wonder what we're getting for Independence Day this year. I believe we got a firecracker one year and the eagle the other year. We're getting the eagle back as the 2018 pet this Saturday, tomorrow. It'll be available for the pet all day long. Definitely make sure to get it, as you probably won't be able to get it for a very long time after, because this is the first time it's been available in 2 years, so definitely make sure to get it. It's fully cosmetic, so obviously it's not too big a deal if you don't get it, but still a good idea to get it. How are you getting such weak opponents? I think the biggest contributor to this is the fact that we're currently ranked 51,857. If you only do casual PvP and you don't do ranked, your score will always be very low throughout the week. And given that our score is so low, it increases the chance that we also find low opponents. Because most of the people that are still at this range, this late in the week, are very low level players. Who might even be inactive, or mostly inactive. Or, you know, they probably just played a few PvP teams just to try it out, and then they're just messing more so with quests and stuff like that. That's a good majority of the people that we're facing, even if they are active. They probably just saw PvP, hey, I'll do a few battles, or the little quest thing he told me to go do it. And then they went back to doing quests. Because some of the tasks that they get per day can tell them, hey, go do PvP. And they get gems for it, or some kind of other reward. Reaching level 1000 actually isn't too hard to get these days. It can theoretically be done in a month, though realistically it can be done in about 3 to 6 months. Anything above 1000 starts to take a lot more time consuming though. Level 1200 is probably about the 1 year mark, I would say, for most players. Though it can vary depending on how much time played. And everything beyond that starts to level very, very slowly. Like, this is our level after 5 years. That's how much slower it starts getting after the 1000 levels. Yes, Sunbird is a little bit more obsolete. It's been obsolete pretty much since Metals. And the main reason for this is 2 reasons. One is Sunbird loses all of its benefits after casting, whenever it has metal benefits, because those do not stay on it once it casts. And the other big issue is it gains, Rowan gains more of a benefit for those bonuses. So something like 24 armor gives Rowan 48 damage, whereas 24 HP only gives Sunbird 24 damage. So it gains half the amount of damage from having those medals set. And pretty much ever since October when medals were added, Sunbird instantly became obsolete forever. Just because Rowan gets that much better of a scale off those medals. Which is a little bit unfortunate, because Sunbird teams were a lot of fun. But Rowan now is just everything in regard to that. Before it was like an option of like Sunbird or Rowan, but now Rowan just outclasses it in every situation, or almost every situation. It's very rare that you'd bring Rowan, Sunbird out these days though. Mostly only in instances where you'd specifically need its revive as a tankiness capability. That's pretty rare. Let me cast. I hate that it slows down the speed. I hope they'll eventually find a fix for that. It's something they mentioned on the Unity engine that kind of prevents them from being able to do so, unfortunately. However, I can't wait till it finally gets fixed. I said it would be something pretty hard for them to actually get around to fixing, but they do intend to eventually. But whenever you're like hovering over a screen here, like right here, it changes your speed to default 1 times rather than the normal 4 times if you have it set. What's kind of funny is it actually speeds up your time as well if you have it at a slower speed. So if you have it at like 0.25 speed and you click on a card, it actually moves it up to 1 time speed. It always moves it to 1 time speed if you're hovering over a card. Which in most cases will slow you down, of course. So you don't want to just be idling on that menu. It's only an issue on PC Mobile, though. Console actually is impossible to trigger it. Because you have to have touch controls, either with mouse or with a natural touchscreen. So I guess Switch version can actually do it too, then. Oh, don't game barrier. What are you doing? Yes, Rope Dart teams are still among the fastest class of teams in PvP. That is correct. Yep, Rope Dart is still insanely good. That hasn't changed. That hasn't changed. Yeah, you can still trigger it with controller on PC. The reason why... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. The reason why I say it's impossible on console is because there's no way to click on your card while you're in that intermission phase. So PS4 and Xbox are actually impossible to trigger that on, to my understanding. Oh, did we just get level 99? Yes, we did. Well, I did say code at 99, and that is 99. So let me go grab ourselves a code then. One moment. Let me go find it. It's buried somewhere here. One moment. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay, let me double check. Did I do this very first one? I'm pretty sure I did. Also, they got a gem sale going on. I wonder how that stacks with, I didn't even notice that. Did it actually show the icon in game? They said May 22nd to 26th. Also, Epic Games had another free game, by the way. Not sure if you guys saw it. They had Grand Theft Auto 5 last week, which I made sure to claim but still haven't played yet. And they had Civilization 6 this week. And you get to keep it forever just for downloading it, which is pretty cool. They really want people to start downloading their client thingy, don't they? They're really going all out. It's actually the first time I ever bothered downloading Epic Games Store. But hey, for 2 free $60 games, I'll take it. Though then again, they normally go on for sale for quite a bit cheaper. But normally within like the 20-30 range. So to get them for free is not that bad. And I never played either of them yet, so I'll need to. I've heard a lot of good things about Civ 6. I don't feel like I would like Grand Theft Auto as much. Though Civ 6 might be too complicated for me to really get into. Like, I like the type of game, but it might be too convoluted for me personally. Anyways, there you guys go. There's the code. Use it on gemsawar.com underneath the game code section. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Whatever your game says right over here is what you put in for your invite code. Actually, I'm going to take that tribute. I can't not take it. Boom. But right over here, your invite code is whatever your game says right there. Underneath your settings, bottom left. Redeem code's right over there in chat. Copy paste the random numbers and letters. The one that starts with HB and all those. And then gives the same reward as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. And there you go. It only works on PC mobile version, unfortunately. Does not work on any of the console versions. Another reason to play on PC mobile. No, just kidding. Anyways, oh yeah, shop. Gosh, look at all those bonuses. Let's see, we could get 4,200 gems. You know what? If that was the default, I would almost say that's worth it. What does that come out to per dollar? I would never do that, though. We already have enough gems. But what does that come out to per dollar? So we have VIP bonus. We have the gem bonus for first time purchase because they redid that for the other update. And I haven't obviously purchased any since then. And then we have the sale bonus. What does that actually come out to per dollar? Let's see. Oh wait, why am I even put this into a calculator? You can obviously just divide it by 100. So yeah, it comes down to 42 gems per dollar. What do the gem offers normally have? Isn't it worse value than that? Let's see. Let's compare it to something like a vault key. For a vault key, it gives you, what, 90 gems and a vault key? So normally it's about 100 gems. So it's like 50 gems per dollar. So, wait, is that still worse than the offers? You gotta be kidding me. Even with all these bonuses, that is still worse than the flash offers. That's kind of absurd. Even with 3 different gem bonuses on top of it, that is still worse than buying any of the flash offers. Because technically, due to flash offers and everything, each dollar is worth about 50 gems. However, the breakdown on that comes out to 42 gems per dollar, which is obviously worse. Plus, you don't get the extra benefits like the flash offers have. They really need to revamp the cost of gems in this shop. Flash offers are just so much better value than ever buying gems from the shop. And that's assuming you buy the biggest bulk. Obviously, it's even worse if you buy into smaller ones. And these are completely dead content, except for buying treasure maps. Treasure maps are worth it, but it's because it uses glories, not gems. Everything in here is pointless, especially since flash offers are better than this. Used to be good, the daily gems. They even buffed it by 30 gems recently in the most recent patch, but it's still better to go for flash offers. These are all pointless, other than the 2 of them, the 5-hour weapons and the whatever the glory troop is, which obviously you should always do the glory troop thing, since it's glory and not money or gems. And these are all useless. Also, the spoils of war that are normally all the way to the left here are also good value. Pretty much anything that requires glory is good value, with the only exception being these souls are never worth it, and these treasure maps are ever so situationally worth it, only earlier in the game. Other than that, you pretty much just ignore the rest, as far as everything in here. Anyways, the flash offers you do on occasion, they're actually worth it normally, if you're interested in getting any of them. Very rarely is a flash offer not worth it, and you can normally tell because it's normally like $20+. But any of like the super cheap flash offers are almost always worth it, like the ones that are like $2 or sometimes even the $5 ones. I generally don't buy them though. It's because we have so many resources already, given that we've been playing the game for so long. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that either. Yeah, the power orb that you could buy for 50, which is still overpriced, I would say overall, does come with 2,000 gems, which is pretty much way better value. I would definitely take 4,000 gems and 2 power orbs rather than like 4,000 something gems. Power orb itself is worth thousands upon thousands of gems. Also, hello Cookie. If you were to try to get them on leaderboard, getting a power orb in the current state of the game takes like upwards of 5,000 gems to reach leaderboard, plus a bunch of time. I still don't feel like it's worth it though, just because it's so pricey. But for people who have the money, buying a power orb is technically efficient. Though that means you'd have to spend like $400 to get Zoogoff. Which obviously we've done for free. And you can do for free after about a year or so. Year and a half, 2 years of playing the game. You can get Zoogoff for free. Which if you were to buy all the power orbs costs $400. But how they normally price it. He's not even that good of a troop. Like, he's not bad. And he is decently meta for a couple things, ever since they made him so he could infinitely cast rather than just single cast. But, he's pretty average relative to how insanely hard it is to actually get him. It's one of the last troops you tend to get. Well, maybe not the absolute last, because you can actually theoretically get him before you get all mythics. But, he's the last of the good mythics that you tend to get. Because by the time you can craft a Zugaf, you've probably already obtained most of the better mythics in the game. Via diamonds and just random drops. And event keys when applicable. Though you can't event key for him. For Zugaf, that is. Even though he's from the Kingdom of Karkaroth, he does not show up in the event key drop table. You have to craft them. He and the Xenos are the two that you have to craft through Soulforge. Well, theoretically, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse as well. But they're in a different category. Xenos and Zugaf are always there. Whereas the 4 Horsemen go in cycles. Ah, a good way to start the holiday weekend. Oh, wait, what holiday is this? Memorial Day? What weekend? Wait, what holiday is this weekend? I actually honestly completely forget. Wait. My sense of time is like completely broken these days. What holiday is it this weekend? I don't even have a guess. Isn't it Memorial Day or something? It's one of the M holidays, isn't it? What holiday is it? I forget. I always confuse it with the one that's in like August, early September. As far as the name of it. Yeah, Memorial Day, that's the one. I knew it started with M. I always confuse it with the one that happens like early spring. Oh yeah, Labor Day. Yeah, I always mix up the two. I'm not sure why, as far as their naming. What do we need here? Grab this for now. Also, we should be actually getting pretty close already to getting this to 100. Keep forgetting how much quicker the PvP rate is. Especially when we get weak battles like this. Because we barely have to even respec spam. Which is really nice. The power of having a low rating this late in the week. Ultra weak battles. But they're great for farming. Can we please get, as I say that, we just get like a long streak of horrible battles. Also, Sapira, I have no clue what you're saying, but welcome. So we'll go for that for now. Can we take that one? Yeah, we can. Oh, it's always the last week of May? It's one of those holidays that I kind of always forget about where it lands, approximately. I think it's mostly because school generally doesn't happen around that time. And for that reason. Because all like the school-related holidays, you like kind of already remember from going through school so much. Like all the other ones kind of in between. It doesn't like actually impact your weekly schedule as much. I don't even think I have anyone in my family that's actually served, from what I recall. I know very, very few did, if any. Let's see. Well, it's kind of interesting because traditional wars pretty much should almost never really happen these days. Like, if we're going to have a war, it's going to be like all-out nuclear war or something. But traditional wars don't really tend to happen that much. At least not anymore, luckily. Is a lockdown over in my country? No. Though parts of the country is starting to open up. My area has, I think, some business types that are allowed to open up, but for the most part, it's still kind of closed. Obviously, all central business has been open the entire time. Mostly grocery stores and such. And healthcare facilities. Oh, you actually served in as a U.S. Navy veteran? Well, thank you for that, Bill. Greatly appreciated. Haha, don't jinx it. I know, right? Ah, Trump. I wish someone better than Joe Biden would be up against him. What's sad is that Joe Biden can actually lose to Donald Trump. That takes a great amount of skill to actually accomplish losing that. Let's see. I'll take that for now. I think today's his controversy is, oh, what was it? He basically said that all black people aren't real black people if they don't vote for him. Gosh. He has such a racist past as well. Both of them do. But, Joe Biden still does as well. Kamala Harris even brought it up during one of the debates. Though now she's trying to be his VP, which is excessively hypocritical. Let's see. I'll take that for now. Yeah, technically the Democratic establishment doesn't want... like, they don't care if Trump wins or not, theoretically. Because they still win regardless, if Trump's in office or not. Because between Joe Biden or Trump, they win either way. Doesn't matter who wins them. And honestly, I don't care who wins at this point either. Both of them are horrible. Let's see. Probably not even gonna vote. And if I do, I'll probably just vote Green Party or something. Or just put someone in just for fun. And just vote in local elections. Though I don't think there's enough votes to get what's his name out. If it seems like there might be, I might consider it. But, what's his name? Not Chris Christie. He was my New Jersey person. He got voted out, luckily. But, that's who used to be my governor. Actually, I forget who my governor is right now. But, what's his name? I know he's up for election. He's in the Senate from South Carolina. What's his name? Why can I not remember his name? Gosh, wow, I cannot not remember his name. I'll get it. He's one of the 2 senators from South Carolina. I literally have like a 50-50 chance. But I can't just pin down his name. Fail. But he's up for re-election this year. I'd love to see him get out. It's gonna bother me now, like, the rest of the stream, that I can't remember his name. Let's see. Let me just Google it. South Carolina Senator. I should know it. He's like one of the more prominent ones as well. Which is also one of the reasons he's likely not getting voted out. He's actually liked by a lot of people for some reason. Let's see. Lindsey Graham. I didn't even look it up and I just remembered it. Lindsey Graham. Yeah, he's up for re-election. I'm pretty sure he has a pretty solid chance of not losing. I am in like a deep red state, so statistically, my vote doesn't matter anyways. Because it's just going to be straight red regardless. Let's see, we'll take that for now. Oh no, the two-party system just needs to go. It is horrifically bad. And not much will ever change until it does. That and money out of politics. So we should almost be at level 100 at this point. Which actually made really good pacing, surprisingly. I'm not expecting to go this quick. The power of having really low rank PvP. That might be too high durability, but we'll take it. See what happens. Sometimes they can be ranked higher just because of traits, though, rather than durability. Oh, in that case, it was probably neither. I think base rarity of troops might also affect it. Same as the level of your hero. There's several things that affect that score. Though the main one that we can't really see that we'd want to have happen is traits, as that means their stats is still very low. You named the Wimp Pit next Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi really holds back the Democratic Party because she's so much into the establishment. I still have no clue how she's still in there. She's being contested, though. I forget the person who's running against him, or her, mostly because he has a really weird name to say. But, yeah, she is being contested. And hopefully the guy who's facing her will win. He has a really hard to say name, though. I forgot what district that even is in. Where does Nancy Pelosi even reside? But she's being contested this year. So hopefully whoever the other person is will win. I'm not sure what the polling even is on that. Hopefully she'll finally get voted out. So is it sad and safe to say that as daft as president is, that people who vote for him are even dumber? I don't know. I feel like some people had like reason to vote for him the first time around because of some of the things that he kind of said and the fact that he kind of made himself to seem like an outsider while not being so much. But and obviously didn't keep most of his promises. I think there are still some people who might still agree with him, mostly because of what the other choice is. Like, Joe Biden is, like, horrifically bad. Like, that's just absurd. I don't know. After everything that's happened, it does seem unlikely. Let's see. Honestly, neither choice is good. It's the same thing as 2016, honestly. Pretty much the same thing as 2016. Except the Democratic candidate is even weaker. Though slightly less corrupt. Though still corrupt. Like, I would say Hillary Clinton is more corrupt than Joe Biden, even though they're both corrupt. But Joe Biden is less competent of a presidential candidate than Hillary Clinton was. We didn't grab that. We'll take that for now. I'm not saying Biden isn't corrupt by any means. Oh no, it's hard to count up corruption when both are already so corrupt. Almost everyone in politics is these days. It's like the whole name of the game. Oh, yeah, she was from California. That's why I always thought it was somewhere else. Gosh, California has such a big economy. It's pretty much like a whole country in itself. I can't recall if I've ever actually been to California. I don't think I ever have. I don't believe I've ever been in California. Mostly because I'm on the all other like coast, so it's hard to get there cheaply. Plus, I would have no immediate real need to go there. Hey, is that 100? Did we just hit the big 100? We did. Let's go get a useless perk. There we go. Look at that. Doomsayer. Main goal we wanted to get done. Give me that level. Give me that useless perk. There we go. We now gain 2 life, or 2 armor and 2 magic whenever an enemy dies to all undead. That's not even to all allies, just all undead. Nice. Okay, anyways, next objective. Let's go find something else to go level a bit. Wasn't actually expecting to get that done so quickly. What should we do next? Who should be our next target? Dabless we'll wait on. Maybe Barbarian. Barbarian's actually not horrifically bad on his final perk. Never mind, I lied. Yes, it is. Oh, wait, no. Barbarian. What typing do you count as? No, Orc. Never mind, yeah, you're still bad. The closest you would get is the elemental bonus. It wouldn't even synergize that well with what you do. Dervish? Do you gain anything okay? Dervish gains... Do you count as rogue? No, you count as human, don't you? No, you count as monster. See, all those would be useless except for maybe the elemental one. Dabless will get naturally off of pets. Gosh, all these gain such useless perks. This one theoretically could give Divines extra HP. And then War Priest was also bad. Gosh, all these gain horrifically bad level 100 perks. Let's just do the next one in line. So the next one in line in alphabetical order is Barbarian. So you know what? We'll start using Barbarian now. Where'd it go? Okay, so back to the grind. Next objective, Barbarian. Actually, I'll take this one. It's weak enough. We might as well take it. Do you get gnomes in PvP? Yes. Pet gnomes are found in PvP and in Arena. They can be found even if there's not a gnome event, though their rate is a lot lower, but they are still found at a decent rate. We'll grab that. Oh, hopefully that doesn't change our matchmaking too much. We gained a perk thingy level. We'll take this other weak one, since we don't need a repick for it. Hello, Lewis. Welcome. I know, now we're only going to find strong battles. Ta. Yeah, Donald Trump and well, why can I not remember names today? Joe Biden do both have pretty credible sexual assault allegations against them. But yeah, I heard the Terror read things too. She actually sounds pretty credible. And especially with the kind of stuff that's out there, just of him being weird around people. It's pretty believable that he'd take it one step further. It just seems weird when Joe Biden tries taking the moral high ground, yet is almost guilty of every single thing he ever accuses Trump of. Which doesn't make Trump good. It just makes both of them bad. Oops, I did not want to repick that. Hate how it has that weird click delay. Like, if you click and drag, it doesn't actually click it. You have to, like, do a click and not drag. Otherwise, you'll click the repick button. I'll probably go until we get another level or two on this thing. Might as well. But yeah, they will eventually have enough events that every single one of these weekends where we have nothing, we'll eventually have something. But we still kind of have a bit of those gaps. I'm not sure if 5.0 will be addressing that at all. Though it might. Because they did eventually say that both Invasions, Raids, and Tower of Doom will eventually be weekend events. Or replaced with Ward Lore events. Which will eventually get a bit more dynamic than they are. We kind of saw part of that kind of in the most recent event. But hopefully they can take it a little even further. Because so far the scoring has been pretty similar to all of them. Even though the requirements for each have changed drastically. But the scoring was ultimately the same. But I think they might have just done that to balance the scoring of that type. Because they were really unbalanced the very first week. Eh, you never know. They're thinking of something with it. Time will tell. Let's see. One second. Just wanted to edit a little thingy with the stream thing. Also, while I'm here, I might as well leave a like on the stream. Oh no, someone left an upside down like button. Probably because we were talking about politics. Our longer streams normally have random topics come up. The upside down like button still helps though. Let's see, we'll take that, throw that down. Engagement is still engagement. We'll take what we can get. Let's see, we'll throw that down for now. Grab our split. Oh, that's like a whole team of all my favorite troops that he was just using. He had Dragon Soul in there, he had the Rainbow Snake. And he had the dragons and the Emperina. I forgot what his first thought was. I think it was just his hero. I wish Rainbow Snake would have been more viable. The Quaidle. They unfortunately made it useless. I was really hoping that thing would be viable. Because it would have been a really fun troop. I really loved its art design. But unfortunately, the troop itself is really useless. Barbarian's an okay hero class. It's outclassed by a lot of other classes, but it's not bad. The biggest issue with what we're doing right now is it doesn't actually gain a level 100 perk that's viable. And compared to other hero classes that are similar to it, they do gain good 100 perks. But up to 70, it seems very similar to most of the other similar hero classes up to 70. But then it falls off once you get it to 100, because it basically gains nothing at 100. Whereas many similar hero classes to it gain a decent benefit at 100. However, of all the skull-related hero classes that are similar to it, I believe it's the only thing in the game that has agile like that. That's so skull-oriented as it is. Obviously, our other hero classes have dodge. But, none of the ones that go, like, into the whole enrage build thing have it other than him. I believe it's the only hero class that has both enrage and skull dodge. Which is very, very situationally useful in combination. But still a thing that's useful on occasion. Nonetheless. What's the best freeze team you could put together at the legendary level? Pretty much anything using Frost Mage. Frost Mage hero class alone is enough to make a freeze team. Other than that, you'd want to build around Frostfire King. Because he has a freeze plus burn every extra turn you do. But normally you just build around Frost Mage. You could literally just do whatever team and just switch the hero class to Frost Mage. And in many Guild Wars situations, that's exactly what happens. You'll just see like a normal team that might be ran like normally with a different hero class. But what people do is they'll just plop a Frost Mage on it. Just because of how potent it is in Guild Wars. It is insanely powerful in Guild Wars. Oh, that person got lucky enough to get the Mythic. Nice. Level 63 that got the most recent Mythic. Congrats on them. That is very lucky, especially since they probably didn't have that many keys to even open for it. What do we have here? Why are so many people using Umanif today? I feel like we're seeing it more than almost any other Mythic. We haven't actually battled any, I don't think, but people actually setting it on their team seems to be pretty high over on the side there. But yeah, freeze teams have changed a lot in the current state of the game. In the sense that you don't really build freeze teams anymore. You kind of just build normal teams that put Frost Mage on it. As almost every freeze build just runs Frost Mage instead of an actual freezer these days. Particularly in Guild Wars, but also just in general. It's because of how good Frost Mage is for it. I guess freeze automatically at start of battle and then that 25% thing that it has. And that's normally enough for most teams. Especially if you're not boost ratioing off of freeze. If you are, then you might want a better option. But if you're specifically just doing it to counter extra turns like on goblins and stuff, it's normally enough to cover it. Oh, that better not get 25% revive. It might not even have to trade for it, hopefully. Nope, it does. Assumed it would. It's low rarity enough that it would. Luckily, it still dies. What 5 classes should you get to 100? The main 5 you'd likely want to focus on are... that's not where you can check classes. Titan first. Titan's the best hero class in game. As far as overall. But Titan... Thief... Let's see. Titan, Thief, Frost Mage, Sun Spear, and that's 4. And what's the other utility I didn't mention? So this is for all around good. Tank, mana accumulation, a lot of things. This is your best stealthy. This is the best triple damage burning, generally speaking, in most situations. What was the other one I mentioned? I don't know, what's the next best we're going to... Oh, Frost Mage. What's the next best then? Actually, technically, Frost Mage doesn't have to get to 100. Even though it's one of the best hero classes in the game, theoretically you could stop at 70. Because you very rarely use the final perk on it. Oh, it's such a good hero class that's still worth mentioning for that. Other than that, it's kind of a tie between a lot of different utilities, depending on what you want. Though overall in the current meta, I'd probably say Orb Weaver or Sentinel. Orb Weaver because it's so good in Guild War Defend, however it's not really used outside of Guild War Defend. And Sentinel because it's technically the tankiest hero class in the entire game, but it's normally so slow that it's not used. But it's tankier than any other hero class, which in itself is relevant. And there's a few other ones that could be good here or there, like Plague Lord is more of a spell reduction version of like Sentinel in a way. Assassin can be good for skull pokes. Archmagus is great for purple. Corsair is basically the same thing for blue. But no, those 5 I would say. In order of Titan, Thief, Titan, Thief, Frost Mage, Sunspear, and then probably Sentinel. Something along the lines of that. Obviously, the exact order can be changed depending on what you want. Like, quite a few hero classes are those, like, really utility category, where it just really depends on, do you want to use that mechanic or not? Maybe something like Sentinel you could easily skip if you wanted a more offensive kind of option. Because obviously his benefit is purely defensive. Sentinel or Assassin? They're both good to have. They're both good first slots. Assassin is more so for skull spam teams, of course. Where Sentinel is generally used for delves to not die. Especially if you're at a point where you actually can die in delves easily. Sentinel's really good at not dying with like a Mang on it. And you just tank like crazy and just have an infinite surviving Mang that almost never dies. It can still die obviously, but it's really, really tanky. It actually probably has the lowest chance of dying of almost any troop in the entire game. Sentinel hero class with any weapon. Particularly with Mountain Crusher or something, but normally you run Mang on it, so it has damage. Even though it's technically slightly less defensive, but that's just because it already has so much defensive capability that you don't need even more normally. Because he has Barrier at start of battle, Barrier every Brown, Barrier when an ally dies, potentially, if you don't want to go the other effect. 25% chance to barrier a random ally per turn, and if he's the only thing left, it'll be on himself, guarantee. While also having 5 to all stats while in first slot, 2 off its perk, or 3 off its perk and 2 off the other perk. And what else does it have for durability? I think that was it. Oh, and also gets a stun every time it gets hit by a skull, which theoretically is defensive in the sense that it gets to get rid of their offensive traits. Like if they have on-skull effects that are offensive. Which works really good because if they hit on-skull effects on barrier, they will still be stunned and you will not be affected by their on-skull effects. However, if they hit on your normal durability, they'll trigger their on-skull effects, but then therefore they'll be stunned. But if you have barrier, they will not trigger and they'll be stunned. Which works out really nicely. Yeah, Sentinel is just an absurd tank. You don't see me using it much because we have such high stats that it's normally not required. But he's probably one of your greatest utilities for higher level delves if you're still struggling with getting them done due to dying too often. Sentinel is your best option to not die. It's not a guarantee win, but it definitely helps a lot. It's also one of the better dispelling hero classes. Yeah, it is 40% score reduction. Did I not mention that? Yeah. It's one of the other reasons why it's so tanky. It has score reduction on it. tied at the highest of any hero class. The overall higher durability because of all the other barriers it has, which all the other skull reduction hero classes don't have, or they might only have part of it. Generally, when leveling up Mastery, you should do them all evenly. However, if you're super early on in the game, you want to keep doing brown and red until you have Mank. That will give you Mountain Crusher and Mank, both of which are two of the strongest weapons in the entire game. That you can get pretty much within your first week or definitely first month of playing the game. Mang upskills to any piece of content in the entire game and can quite literally solo like any piece of content in the game with enough luck. And Mountain Crusher is just one of the best mana accumulating weapons in the game, as well as it works really good with any hero class that gains barrier on brown, since it creates so many browns. Oh, good. We got the revive out the way. Oh, never mind. That could happen on any of them. This we actually kind of got a little lucky there. Or I should have just went for that battle. We could have killed it. Oh, well. I do not hate Russians. I just cannot understand what you're typing. English is the only language I know. So if you type in anything but English, I will have no clue what you're saying. And I can't really Google Translate everything while I'm streaming. I wonder if there's an app that automatically does that for you. You'd think someone would have invented that by now. There might already be. I'm just not aware of it. Something that auto-translates live chat. I'm pretty sure it would try to translate things that aren't even actually in other languages. Like slang and stuff, possibly. Discord has the option, but it costs money. Yeah, the amount of time that it would take to develop something like that, I'd highly doubt it'd be free. I feel like Google would eventually release something like that if they haven't already. Like almost every other company would charge for it, just because of the amount of resources it would take to develop something like that. I believe we're almost at the other level. As I mentioned, I think we are going to stop once we get that other level. So we'll have one hero class to level 100, and then the next one to level 82. And then we'll keep poking at it till it's 100 as well, as all of them shall be eventually. Oh, oh no, I don't want to repick it. Oh, at least we repicked in something easy as well. I might just keep going until we gain an actual full hero level as well. Not just the class level, but the hero level that's getting pretty close. Yeah, slang is a hard thing to translate. Especially because slang in some languages means something completely different in another language, or doesn't really translate over. How do we keep getting such low levels? Because we currently have such a low PvP rating that all these battles gives us really weak battles, because it's generally giving us people who haven't really done any PvP this week. And generally speaking, that has a higher chance of being low-level players. And then we just repick a few times if we don't find a low-level player. And then we find a low-level player. It's one of the few benefits of keeping a low rating. Currently ranked 51,757. Allows us to find things like this pretty easily. It's not the only factor that determines it. It's probably one of the biggest factors that's giving us easy battles right now. That's easy enough that we should probably kill through it. Well, not if that hero has a lot of stats on it. Oh, still killed her. Nice. Still got the kill. Oh, that's too high. Most likely. Potentially we could have still killed it. Like this one too, we might be able to. Hey, I know him. We still haven't found a single pet gnome to stream though, surprisingly. Actually, do we even have a pet active? I don't think we do. 10,000 gold, nice. Not his best drop, not his worst drop. I'm wondering, like, why aren't we getting the explosion anymore? Duh. We're not using that hero class anymore. So we don't have that little bit of delay, but we also don't have the chance of getting full mana instantly. I was actually starting to get used to it. They have nothing against Russians. I feel like America in general does. I have nothing against them. Similar to America with Trump right now, we're not necessarily too responsible for what our people in power do. To a degree. Let's see. I'll take that over for now. Okay, there's not a good way to kill it right now, so let's go ahead and do that. let's take that for now. If we had one more brown, we already would have had the extra turn to kill it. Oh well. Not that big a deal. Still dies very quickly. I think I had Cedric at pretty low level. What level is that? Oh, 151. That's a little bit higher than I thought it was. Still pretty low though. Yep. Misclicks. I hate that revive so much. I'm glad they nerfed it, but even after the nerf, it's still too high. Apparently our defense team won. It's actually set to something pretty decently strong right now. Actually, did they ever even bother fixing that glitch? I know in the past, there was a glitch where if anyone fought you in casual PvP, it would show up as a win on your win-lose thing. Like the thing that just popped up for us. Or if they fight you in casual PvP, regardless of how they did, it'll count as if you won the battle. I'm not sure if they ever fixed that. I never actually double-checked it. Because it'd be kind of weird to test. You'd have to find someone who finds you in casual PvP, and then have them lose to you. I mean, sorry, and have them win against you. And see if it counts as a win or a loss. So you'd have to have someone who finds you in casual PvP, and then wins against your casual PvP team. And then report back to you immediately. And then see if you won or lost. And if it shows you won when they won, then that means the glitch is still there. Which I believe is still the case. Where regardless of their result, it shows you won. Even if they won, when it should count as your loss. Obviously, they still get the win. And you still get the win. But, it's not supposed to be like that, obviously. But that's what I was doing for the longest time, and I have no clue if they've actually ever changed it. Just because it's not something you can quickly test. Where all the weak teams at? They'll make me have to go back to explore. This is why I hate doing PvP. It's like moments like this. You get like a billion strong teams in a row. Well, that's worth it for the quicker EXP. It's technically slower hero EXP, but higher class EXP. As far as the bigger number, it actually moves slower. Just to the rate at which we're winning being slightly slower. Also because we have to go through all this repick spam. Yeah, there used to be a weird... I thought they fixed that completely. There used to be a really weird glitch where it could show you've gotten like hundreds of battles, even if like barely any even happens. I could have sworn they fixed that one. I haven't seen it in recent times. But I know it used to be a thing. Let's see, how close are we on class XP? Want to try aligning them to be almost the same time. Get that perfect synergy with the super level. The hero class level on top of the class level. Let's see how far off is it. No, it's not going to happen. There's no way we're going to get that much XP that quick on hero. Means we'll have it to max in 2 battles. But the other one will be like 20 battles away. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, that's even better though. And there we go. Class level 82. Alright, let's keep going until we gain a hero level though. Might even go to Explore because technically if that's what our main goal is, that actually goes quicker in Explore rather than PvP. Class XP is quicker here, but hero XP is actually quicker in Explore due to the rate at which you cycle battles being better. If you have to repick even once, the rate at which you do Explore is quicker. Yeah, let's go do a little bit Explore then. On Explore 3 where we can still one-shot it. Consistency 100% of the time and never needing to worry about it not doing so. Here we only get 1 class XP, but it gives the same amount of hero XP. And since these battles cycle without needing to repick spam at all, it actually goes quicker. You also have 100% consistency that's going to kill without any of those like annoying perks like 25% revive or spell reduction or anything else that could be annoying. No submerge or anything like that either. Plus we have occasional greenstorm assists off the gnome here. It's one of the reasons why I always do Zejin. You get an occasional free greenstorm even if your hero class doesn't have it. Which we have again. And that helps increase our chance that we'll get an extra turn, plus green for our Rowan if it's not already full mana. Can you please click? There we go. Wow. Best pet battle team at legendary level 400 to 700. Wait, what do you mean by 400 to 700? Do you mean 40 to 70? The highest one, I believe, only goes to what, 100 something? Do you mean like battle 7 and 8? For the later battles, Phoenicia even starts falling off for the one-shots. However, going Phoenicia all the way, I believe, is still the quickest method in the game. That or some kind of skull spam build based around Wrath. Those are like your 2 quickest options normally. Is destroy it all with Phoenicia or skull spam it like crazy with a Wrath team. I like using Key because it allows you to hero class anything while also getting free gold. But if you're looking purely for speed, a Wrath skull spam or Phoenicia just hitting big full AoEs are the 2 quickest methods currently in the game for clearing out pet battles. Also, what on earth was that glitch? That was weird. Yes. You actually get that 100% chance. Warren's is extremely overpowered in giving trait stones, and as the only faction in the entire game that gives you arcanes on the final battle. This means, assuming that you're going through on 2 times multiplier, you're normally going to have a 4 times multiplier by the time you finish out the delve. This means as you're progressing through with 4 times multiplier, you will have 4 arcanes every single time you do that battle. So yes, that is actually a common at 100% chance. It's pretty broken. Arcane Light is theoretically the most common arcane trait stone in the game, because Warren just gives you so many of them for free. Just for completing through Warrens without farming it at all, you're going to get, what's 48 times 4? That's what, 196, right? No. Yes, somewhere around there. 192. Yeah, around 192. You get about 190. Yeah, I believe it's exactly 192. If you don't farm Warrens at all, and all you do is just go through all the 2 times and get to 500 purifaction, you will get to 192 arcane lights from completing out the faction. Actually, technically 196 if you count purifaction. But then again, you get slightly less for that because you wouldn't do every room. But yeah, generally you're going to be getting almost 200 from Warrens. It's absurdly high. No other faction does that. For whatever reason, Warrens is the only one. And it has made the trait stone into the most common one in the game due to that. But yeah, it has a 100% chance to drop Arcanes on Final Battle. And all the multipliers you have get affected on it. Yeah, trait stones get multiplied. It's one of the reasons why some of the runics are so populated. And some of them are not. Because things like a purple runic, if you have like a 3 times or 4 times multiplier when you go into that room, you just got 3 or 4 of that arcane rather than 1. Or sorry, of that runic rather than 1. And if you're by a default 2 times multiplier just going through the delves as you're progressing through, that's default at least getting 2 of them, if not more. Normally around 2 to 3. Ever so occasionally you can get 4. Depends how the multipliers go. But normally it's around 2 or 3. As far as the runics that you find throughout them. Though you can also find miners as well. You can get some battles that have a few miners, and then you get like a 3 times on it and get like almost a dozen miners. Yeah, I was farming it quite a bit. I didn't farm it that much though. I think I'm at 2,000 something arcane lights. It's like one of my top 3, I believe. How many arcane lights do I have? Before I do though, tribute time 12. Oh gosh, we got 12 twice. Also, someone gave us a helpful or something. Or that it was fun. I think someone gave us whatever that one head was. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my runics. I mean my arcanes. So yeah, arcane lava I have a lot of because I do a lot of my explore 12 in Urskea. Arcane forest has been going up because that's where Zajin is, and arcane light is obviously Warrens, and those are the reason why those are so high. Arcane light because of Warrens farming, arcane forest because of Zajin farming, and arcane lava because of Urskea explore 12 farming. Yeah, that's explore 12. That's explore 3. And this is Warrens. And every other one's like below 1,000. Oh, our first one's starting to get there. Arcane Blade's actually starting to get pretty close. I think it's because we bought gold on that week. Pretty sure. This might have been one of the other weeks we bought gold on. Because it also gives you a lot of the arcane. But yeah, we've been past base 500 arcane. We're basically working on base 600 arcane at this point. I think every single one's above 500. Yep, every single arcane I have is above 500. Now to get them all to 1,000. Actually, are any of them over 2,000 yet? No. Arcane lava will probably be my first one over 2,000. That doesn't really matter. They're all pretty much infinite. Unless they have some kind of trait stone sink. They're not going down anytime soon. At least not at a quick enough rate to ever make them go even remotely close to 0. Once you have everything traded in the game, like a few months after, you pretty much have infinite trait stones. After having traded everything. Obviously, it takes quite a bit to get there. Once you get there, you're pretty much permanently there. At least in the current state of the game. Why does it keep doing that? That's a really weird glitch. It keeps like moving the location of it and breaking the text. I've never actually seen that happen before until today. Oh, speaking of arcanes, there's another arcane. What's the best pet battle with no Phoenicia? Probably just sticking with Key Team. It's what's the composition? It's Cedric Sparkle Sack, which you get from Volkeys, followed by Skeleton Key. Or sorry, wrong order. It's Cedric Sparkle Sack, Egg Thief, Skeleton Key as any hero class that you want to level, and then you end it with Greed. And that team is really good for quick killing it. It's not the quickest quick kill, but it gives you gold and treasure maps along the way. It's particularly good from 4 to 6. Is where it shines best. And that's actually the area in which it is the quickest. However, it's a little bit slower than other options from 1 to 3. And it's also a little bit slower than other options from 7 and 8, because it doesn't one-shot at that range unless you get a skull to go with it. But 4 to 6, particularly 5 and 6, it actually has the quickest kill rate of pretty much any team for that area. However, the rest of it doesn't. Phoenicia has the quickest for 1 to 5. Though it can technically still quick kill the other ones. And Skull Spam, I believe, has the quickest for 6, 7, and 8. Or somewhere around there. Definitely 7 and 8. However, it's normally not efficient to change your team over that many times. Do I feel like battles are coming down too much to luck? I don't know, what battles? There's definitely a lot of luck elements, which is kind of to be expected with a board that literally drops random gems. But destroys, compared to, or particularly destroys. Well, they kind of became a little bit meta at some point again. But those really high inconsistency ones weren't really used as much when the game first started, in favor of things that were more controlled. And over time, you kind of just went for the speedier, kind of just clear everything. I feel like 4 times speed is probably the biggest thing that ended up changing that, actually. Where you don't take, like, extremely slow calculated moves. You tend to take extremely quick moves that kind of rush down your enemy. Which I guess can kind of be more into, like, that RNG element, since you're kind of hoping for the randomness of the board to kind of go in your favor in that regard. But, I think the biggest contributor to that is probably 4 times speed, if anything. Because 4 times speed basically made it where thinking about doing your move is not necessarily a good strategy anymore, in the sense that it is quicker just to spam than it is to think out every single move, with the only exception being Guild Wars, because it actually matters how well you do in Guild Wars, and a few other events, if they're really tight on sigils or just really need to get it done, like level 500 Pure Faction. But most other situations, it's more effective just to rush down and due to 4 times speed. And for that reason, I guess that can kind of happen to quite a few battles, particularly a lot of the places where you're farming, because obviously the whole point is to rush them down as quickly as possible. And that's a good majority of content in the game, other than a few events here and there, is rushing things down as quickly as possible in order to farm them for their loot. So I guess that can kind of be a thing over time, but I don't feel like it's been affecting it too much. A lot of teams that are meta try to run with as minimal luck-based mechanics as possible, because you need that higher consistency, especially in harder battles like Guild Wars. But I don't know, it's a bit of a mix. Like, you can play really heavily with RNG, but you can also play with like some of the most consistent teams in the game that are all like double converts that will work like 100% of the time once you get them going, or you know exactly what they're going to do every single time they cast. Whereas something like a Mass Explosion is pretty random and luck-based on if it's actually going to extra turn or how much mana you get and stuff like that. You know, like, generally about what's going to do, but, you can never get it exact. Which delves do you think are the easiest to complete Pure Faction without potions? The absolute easiest ones are any that have instant kill or summon spam. The instant kill ones include Crypt, which is arguably the absolute easiest, as well as Stonesong Aerie, which has both summon and instant kill. So those two are the 2 with instant kill. As far as the ones that have a lot of summon, obviously, as I just mentioned, Stonesong Aerie, but as far as other ones, All-Seeing Eye and Primal Rift, I believe, are the other 2. Both of them have a decent summon and a way to skull spam kill win the battle. And due to that, you can counter the enemy's skull spam and do it before them, and end up winning out that way. But I believe those 4 are probably the easiest ones to do with absolutely no potion effects whatsoever. With the instant kill ones being easier than the other 2. But Crypt Keepers, Stonesong Aerie, All-Seeing Eye, and Primal Rift. I would say are overall probably the easiest, with Krypton, Stonesong, Aerie probably being potentially the absolute easiest. That doesn't mean they're automatically going to be like a free win. They're still pretty hard. But if you're looking for the easier of the hard ones, you know, they're all technically hard at 500 pure faction. But if you're looking for the easiest two, if you haven't done Crypt or Stonesong Aerie, I would say those two would be your place you'd want to start. The summons in Stonesong Aerie can be a little bit frustrating, but once you get advantage, you pretty much win at that point. Anyways, guys, anyone else have any other questions or anything else you want me to go over? Otherwise, I think I will be wrapping up for now. We'll be back tonight, as we always are, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is from 5.5 hours from now. We'll be messing around with, well, more leveling. You know, nothing new to go over this weekend, but we will have a new pet tomorrow. Well, not new, but we'll still be able to, you know, go over that. And people will be able to get it if they don't already have it, which for a lot of people is technically new. And other than that, yeah, let's kind of keep farming this weekend, keep poking at our hero classes, get them done, hopefully by the end of June, and never have to worry about them ever again. Wait, has Pac-Man been around for 40 years now? Gosh. I feel old. No, I haven't been around for that entire time. Only 25. But, gosh, that has been ages. But any other questions, anyone? Anyone? Let me know. Otherwise, we'll be back soon. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there. And any other questions? Yes, no? Or forever hold your peace? Or wait till later? Let me know. Otherwise, I hope you all enjoy your weekends. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone. No one seems to have any questions. Catch you all later. Goodbye.